Everyone. I guess you could tell that one of the team had a holiday yesterday. So apologies for that slightly beginning. But welcome to Pitch Day, and delighted to obviously have 9 of you in session 1, and looking forward to hearing your pitches and getting some great feedback from the panel. And I suppose today is the culmination of the 2 weeks that you've invested in, and it's not the end of the journey, it's the beginning of the, I suppose, the next phase. And so, we're here to support you on that. And of course, following on from today, we'll be in touch and, continuing the journey. The format for this morning, it should culminate in around 2 hours time. And that will also include around a sort of 15-minute wrap up at the end. But I think probably we should crack on because there's a lot to be done here. So over to you, Jeremy, and interesting to see how today goes.
Great, thanks, Peter, and great to be here again. What a 2 weeks it's been for everyone. My privilege to be hosting today's pitch session. Just to introduce myself briefly, my name's Jeremy Bassett. I head up a company called CoCubed, and we work with corporates to connect them to the world's latest innovations, namely startups from around the world. So this fits right in my sweet spot of what we do every day at CoCubed, and really excited to be joining you here today. We've got a great lineup of companies as well. We're going to meet 9 companies that are reinventing the way that banks and financial service firms can engage from an enterprise perspective, from an SME perspective, and from a consumer perspective. So you're in for a real treat today as we see these 9 companies pitch. But Peter, before we do that, why don't you give us a bit of an overview of what sort of a journey these guys have been on over the last 2 weeks?
I suppose the best way is to ask them, but I think from my perspective, it's been a learning curve, for us as a business, in terms of putting together a program like this. And I think we'll do it differently next time, but at the same time, I was delighted on how things have gone. And certainly the feedback we've had is incredibly encouraging. And certainly there's been some real highlights from a number of the panels. And we'll be sort of wrapping everything up and sending information out later. But on the whole, I think companies have come a long way. And if you didn't know about the UK and London Fintech sort of area much, I'm hoping that after 2 weeks, you're a lot better informed and able to make better decisions. And that's really the whole thing behind Market Visions.
Absolutely. And for the 9 companies that are pitching today, what should they be getting out of today's session?
Well, I think there's a few key things here. I mean, firstly, the panel's really experienced, and they'll give you honest and direct feedback. And that's, again, this is not a contest or a competition. It's there to sort of just help you define yourself for the UK marketplace. So it'll be UK specific feedback in the main, but also we do have a watching audience who will be perhaps reaching out to us and saying, can we have an intro to company X or company Y? And as I say, there's investors and advisors and corporates out there sort of behind the scenes. So ultimately, we hope to give you some leads, and that's one of the key things. But more importantly, you're sort of continuing that sort of journey.
Brilliant. And then for our panelists in the audience, what's your guidance for them today? What do you want them to take out of today's session?
Well, out of the 9, there's some real gems, and I would hope that they would recognise that and be able to sort of say, listen, you as a business need to be over here, and let's figure out how we can help you. So, there's clearly going to be opportunity, and I think one of the biggest takeaways, actually thinking about the last couple of weeks, is that whilst it's very competitive here, whilst it's challenging, there's still plenty of opportunity. So ultimately, I think the companies that are in session 1, they wouldn't be doing this unless they believe that. So keep believing, keep believing.
Come on. Fantastic. Well, great advice there, Peter. This is, like you said, this is your opportunity to showcase your company, to get feedback and to make connections. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing over the next 2 hours or just under that. Like I mentioned to the startups last week, pitching is a fantastic opportunity to really provide that front door for your company, to showcase your intentions and to enlist fans into your business. And that's what this session is all about. You're going to receive some amazing feedback from our panelists who are going to interrogate your pitch, ask questions, give feedback, and possibly make connections as well. And so why don't we jump into meeting our panelists now?
Before we do that, Jeremy, can we just ask that all the attendees, could they sort of right-click and put their real names as opposed to if you found panelists in there, so we can see who's in the...
yes, great idea.
Just please, if you wouldn't mind doing that right now, and then obviously let's intro the panelists. Over to you, Jeremy.
Perfect. All right, thanks, Pete. Yeah, so we've got 3 panelists lined up for today's session. Our first panelist, why don't we run with Alan? Do you want to, I can see your camera, so let's start with you.
Hi, Jeremy.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I run Bridgepoint, having scaled up and grown a number of companies in the tech space, both into the UK and from the UK out into North America and Asia Pacific. Had a lot of experience in scaling small companies into large and gaining major accounts in particularly the finance sector. So Bridgepoint helps specifically tech companies expand globally. So I'm looking forward, and I've seen from what I can see of some of the companies that look really, really ready to go.
Brilliant. And let's go to Zach. Do you want to introduce yourself, Zach?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Zach. I work at Beacon Capital. We're a sort of post-seed, pre-Series A venture capital fund, super focused on B2B enterprise tech, 20 portfolio companies, operating for about 4 years now, and next year is going to be a big year for us. So very excited to see what we've got going on here today.
Excellent stuff. And then our final panelist is Julie. Julie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Julie Ngo. I'm legal counsel at TrueLayer, and we're a fintech startup post-Series C. And we're a startup that makes it easy for other fintechs to integrate financial services like an open banking into any app anywhere in the world. And we became one of the first UK companies in 2018 to be authorized and registered by the Financial Conduct Authority to provide open account information and payment initiation services under open banking and PSD2. And we service more than half of all open banking traffic in the UK. With customers like Revolut, Zopa, and Nutmeg. And I joined TrueLayer when it was 38 people, and then we've now grown to about 150. So I've seen quite my fair share of the growth pains.
Amazing. What a journey to go on. Well, look, big thanks to our 3 panelists for joining today. You guys are going to be instrumental in giving these companies feedback that can help them strengthen their pitch, and connections that can help them land themselves in the UK. So thank you for joining. The way the pitch session is going to work, it's going to feel pretty fast and furious. So in just a minute, we'll bring on our first company. They will give a 3-minute pitch, and then we've got 5 minutes for Q&A, which is not a lot of time actually. And we'll try and get to all 3 of you if they're short and punchy responses, but we might have to cut that. I'm going to be very strict on the 8 minutes, a little bit lenient on the 3 minutes. So a note to the startups, please do make the most of this. Don't go over your 3 minutes to maximize your feedback, but I will give you a heads up if you go too far over that. But we will be very strict for the 8 minutes. And we've got 9 companies to go through. The last piece of advice is for the audience and everyone else joining us this morning. Please do make the most of this to select and connect with the companies that you would like to meet. There's a form that will drop into the chat right now, and that is your opportunity to give feedback, to select the companies that you think would be interesting to connect with. So if you go on there, drop in your name and email, and then as you double screen perhaps, you'll be able to select the companies that you would like an introduction to, and Newfound will go ahead and make those introductions. So you'll find that in the chat right now as well. So let's jump into our first pitch. And as you know, the electronics payment process is a challenging one, and a company transforming that is Office Talk. So from Office Talk, please welcome Lance Wickman, founder and CEO. Lance, thanks for joining.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? Right, we're into it. Hi, everyone. I'd like you to meet Mike. Mike's a really good plumber, but he's not so great at billing and collecting money. but he doesn't like doing it either. Mike's not alone. There's about 2.5 million businesses in the UK who find invoicing, chasing slow payers, and getting paid really painful. The result is a massive amount of cash flow constraint, bad debt, and write-offs. And this year, the problem just got much worse. A lot of innovation has gone into automating sales, marketing, and fulfillment, but little has changed in the way businesses invoice and collect their money. We've identified 3 underlying issues. Firstly, both paper and PDFs are static and of little value to your customers. Unlike point of sale and e-commerce, bill pay is disconnected and not user-friendly. And thirdly, accounting software systems are not great at AR, so it's still a very manual and time-consuming process. So we've taken a very holistic approach to billing and AR. We've reinvented electronic bill presentment and payment and integrated it with smart AR automation. We call it FRM, Financial Relationship Management. It's aimed at organizations, large and small, that want to provide a superior customer experience, reduce costs, and get paid sooner. Recently, we turned it into a scalable platform designed so that partners can white label and deploy FRM to their customers anywhere in the world. We found that good customer self-help significantly reduces the AR effort. So our platform includes interactive invoicing. The result is an easy-to-use, one-touch experience where customers can lodge a query, export the data file, and most importantly, arrange a payment. Customers can seamlessly select to pay by the method of their choice, and not just pay now, but more attractively, pay on or around the due date, set up automatic payments, and even pay by installments. Using both direct and channel partners, we've now established a solid base of customers in Australasia and a large cornerstone firm in the UK. We help them to collect around 3.5 billion each year from over 430,000 of their end clients. All our customers benefit from very high adoption rates and self-serve levels, reduced DSO, and significant reductions in time and costs. So what's next for us? Well, we're just finalizing our own merchant acquirer capability, and we think Afterpay for invoice and bill pay will be very attractive in the current climate. At this stage, we're seeking help firstly with market validation. We'd also like to identify suitable partners for open banking and invoice financing. And of course, we'd like to engage with potential white label partners, perhaps someone who'd like to roll out a pilot with us. Thank you for your time and interest. I think it's time for questions.
Fantastic. Well done, Lance. You nailed that. And the 30-second rotations of the slide, you seem to make that work really well for yourself. So well done there. Great proposition and obviously some great proven results there. Which of the panelists would like to kick off?
I'd be happy to kick off. Alan here. It
Hi,
really
Alan.
does sound like a great proposition. I think the white label and the other partner strategy is essential to get this off the ground, especially in the UK where integration with other technologies and other desktop, QuickBooks, other solutions like that don't really seem to exist for this kind of product. I think the marketing process is very much a partner marketing, and I think the white label could be particularly successful. What's your UK client that you've got at the moment?
Okay, so the cornerstone customer is Armstrong Watson. They're a large chartered accounting firm, 7 branches around the northern part of the UK. They've been with us for probably a couple of years now, I guess.
It sounds like the receipt bank kind of model that is parallel to the kind of thing you're doing as well. Are you aware of them?
No, I'm not sure. Receipt bank. I'll check that out.
Okay, great. Thanks, Alan. Good advice there. It sounds like you might be on the right track there, Lance, with the white labeling and the partner marketing approach. Zach or Julie, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I was sort of on the same page as Alan there. I think partnership in this aspect would be huge. I just had a quick question, sort of Is this going to be focused towards sole traders, or are you looking for larger scale enterprises on this platform?
Okay, so we've actually got two platforms. Our original platform was aimed at medium and corporate customers. And in the last 2 years, we've developed this new platform, which is much more scalable. It's a global platform. And initially, that's going to be targeting smaller businesses, so micro right through to medium. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to develop out the capability of that to overlap our older platform.
Fantastic. I mean, there are a lot of there's a lot of software out there for larger scale enterprise. So I think focusing on the sort of smaller traders could be quite successful there. But yeah, good pitch anyway.
Thank you.
Very good. And Julie.
Lance, thanks very much for your pitch and putting that together. I would agree that no one that I've come across has exactly nailed this yet. So I think it's a great opportunity. Obviously I'm interested in the open banking integration and wondering what you're looking for in that space.
Yeah. Actually, we've had some contact with your company already, probably a bit over a year ago. So aware of you guys, and yeah, we'll touch base again.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you, Alan, Zach, and Julie. Thank you, Lance. Great presentation, starting us strong there. We're going to move.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you. We're going to move to the next company now. So late payments or failed payments remain a key issue in the banking system. Here with a solution, please welcome Jonathan Grant, COO from Paperplane.
Thanks, Jeremy. Paperplane is a payment management software hosted in the cloud, working specifically for business banks, for their business customers, and uniquely for the business's payers. We plug in over the top of the bank's core payment pipes as a white label software as a service offering. We're built to help businesses get paid on time, whether for one-off payments or complex multi-stage or recurring payments, whilst eliminating all manual admin involved with chasing failed payments and missed cash flow. In doing so, we enable banks to offer their business customers competitive, integrated, and valuable tools. We don't touch funds, we communicate data and drive traffic into the banks or payment service providers' core payment pipes. Our software solves problems that exist today in our current payment landscape, whilst provisioning for a future of fast, data-rich payments. Paperplane works for a merchant without punishing their payers with fees. The system's proactive tools serve the interests of a business and their consumer. For instance, each business can set and collect their own customer fees, whether transaction-related or late fees. Each business is in full control of their customer experience, unlike current services provided by third-party payment providers. Paperplane delivers benefits to each stakeholder in the payment journey. For the bank, we deliver a system that creates an instantly competitive service offering. We increase the LTV of their SME clients, and we make it easy for businesses to access the bank's payment pipes. We also allow banks to rapidly evolve their payment offering in line with demand. For a business, or merchant if you like, we offer a solution to their biggest problems, getting paid on time, reducing payments admin, and providing a customer-friendly solution. By offering the payer a transparent, digital, and self-managed payment experience, we're actually helping businesses get paid. We create and maintain a linked digital payment agreement between a payer and a business, which allows a range of functions and delivers targeted benefits to each stakeholder in the payment ecosystem, for a bank, to a business, to a payer. This unique system design allows us to deliver benefits and functionality beyond legacy systems and traditional payment experiences. And it works. Our business users report that Paperplane has eliminated 80% of payment-related admin tasks. Our last 2 years of data shows that we collect 99% of all due payments within 72 hours of the due date with no manual intervention. Over the same period, our proactive automated software has also saved payers over $100,000 in late payment fees. This is software that businesses need and banks can deliver it to them. We're currently working with 2 banks in Australia and 3 global PSPs as a white label software as a service provider. We would love to talk to you if you're a bank or a payments company in the UK. On the line is my CEO as well, Simone Joyce.
Fantastic. Well done, Jonathan. And some great results there with some prompt payments. My goodness, I know my business could do with that. Why don't we open this up to our panelists to kick things off?
Yeah, Jonathan, nice to meet you. Quick question. You said sort of your software has allowed payments to be collected 90% quicker, or what's happening there? Why does this software enable that to happen?
Yeah, thanks, Zach. So there's a few things that we do to achieve that result. It's 99% success rate within 72 hours of due. And ultimately, by involving the customer in a transparent onboarding process from the outset, bearing in mind there's a focus here on recurring payments, so membership, subscription type things, we can achieve a higher success rate just simply by the consumer acknowledging what they're paying for and having some control over the payments. So a consumer, for example, could shift the payment day by a day or two each week if it suits them to do so. A key there is that the business or the merchant can actually adjust those settings to suit what they want to deliver to their own customers. Right. So, yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Hi, could you tell me? Yeah, could you tell me how you get paid in this cycle?
So as any other software as a service would be paid, we offer our white label solution to banks, which then they can mark up or deliver to their business customers how they choose. So the execution we've delivered to the banks in Australia is there's no paper plane branding on it or anything like that. It's delivered as a product of their business banking suite.
Is it paid as an annual subscription, or is it linked to the number of performance criteria that you provide for their customers?
We're able to vary that depending on how the bank wishes to. So typically it's based on the number of users on the system, and we can measure that right down to a granular consumer level, or number of payments, number of transactions, for example, number of payment agreements on the system. But ultimately we can vary that to suit the needs of each client.
I think that's a very good model if you're going for the retail business banking community. That would definitely help them.
Yep.
Nice.
Jonathan and Simone, thanks very much for putting this together. Again, I think it's another problem that a lot of businesses face that hasn't exactly been solved. You've mentioned bank partnerships, and in my experience, bank partnerships can be particularly difficult. So just wondered what you learned from that experience so far based on your interactions with the banks in Australia.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I'll try and be quick to answer. There's a few sort of pillars to those arrangements. We're finding that the legal and data side of things to be the slowest rather than the technical. So we are experts in the technical side, and each product we deliver, we're learning more and more about how to deliver it quickly. However, where we're learning a lot faster is actually on the legal side of things and the different moving pieces that the banks have in that area. Naturally, banks have big departments that are often aren't, let's say, sitting next to each other or talking to each other daily. So we've got to work with quite a number of them to execute the right solution. Yeah.
And I'd say for the UK, you need to be prepared for a very long procurement process and a process where you've got lots of different departments who have different priorities. And if you can position yourself as the intermediary, as almost between those teams in the banks themselves, I think that will help you in the long run, but it's a very difficult process.
Yeah, thanks. And all we can control is what we do, and we try and be as fast as we can on all of the pieces that we're responsible for, and we find that goes a long way as well.
Brilliant. Excellent, and good advice there too, Julia. Definitely agree with that. But Jonathan, thanks so much. Fantastic job with the pitch, and all the best.
Thanks, Jeremy. See you.
Okay, looks exciting. All right, they say data is the new oil, but if you can't drill it, then obviously it's worthless. Well, a company that's on a mission to give every organization their drill. Please welcome Dilip Murali, CEO from Zscore. Dilip, over to you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dilip. As we move from the age of information to the age of intelligence, organizations are struggling to become data-driven, primarily due to data management challenges. This has resulted in poor data quality, manual data processes, and poor ROI of data investments, leading to huge losses, productivity challenges, thus lowering competitiveness. Our solution is an augmented data management platform that quarantines bad data and potential fraud, improves data accuracy that directly impacts revenue, and significantly increases efficiency. Z-Score helps solve this data problem with features such as Organization Data Quality Index to monitor data quality and understand the dollar impact of bad data using a very important metric called business impact. Also understand the root cause of data issues, automatically remediate poor data using machine learning. Doing all this by understanding the context of data by domain and industry with completely automated data pipelines to provide intelligence and automation. We have worked with a variety of companies predominantly in the insurance space. We've been able to showcase a lot of effectiveness by uncovering unknowns from their data, such as identifying claims leakages with payments made for male pregnancies, to improving customer ratings to increase retention by identifying root causes of customer issues. Though our product is domain agnostic, our current focus is on the financial sectors such as insurance and banking and other financial institutions. We've had the pleasure of working with insurance companies across Australia and India. We're happy to share that we have a 100% lead to a prospect ratio, and we've been able to give $35 million in savings to our customers thus far. We've had the privilege to partner and work with some of the leading organizations such as NetApp and Capgemini, and we have a healthy pipeline of companies that we're currently talking to. We are a team of 8 people based in India and Australia. My name is Dilip. I have more than 20 years of experience in product development and sales, spent more than a decade working for companies in the US and leading product development at startups. Ayush, my partner, he heads product. He's a graduate from the prestigious Indian Institute of Technology. We've been working together for more than 6 years and understand the data space very, very well. And we've helped our customers solve some very complicated data problems. We are looking to engage with insurance companies and banks for pilots and POCs for our solution. Augmented data management will be in the forefront in the next 2 to 3 years. We are currently raising a seed round of $1 million, and we would love to talk to investors to join us in this exciting journey. Thank you.
Well done, Dilip. And that's an amazing lead to prospect ratio. My goodness. I wish I could say that. You've obviously got something quite promising here. Let's hand it over to our panelists to interrogate this further and ask some questions.
I'll jump in there quickly if I can. Dilip, nice to meet you. There's obviously different levels of data. There's very basic data and there's very sophisticated data. Do you guys cover the entire spectrum, or are you focused on certain types of data? I mean, where do you sort of sit in that realm?
So we look at both structured and unstructured data. What we do is when we look at data, especially structured data, we look at data, we identify what that data is all about. We identify data automatically, whether it is a claims data, whether it is a banking data, within claims, which is an insurance data. And we automatically identify anomalies within the data, and we tell you what is wrong with it. And we suggest a data pipeline. And what we also do is we go and identify the root causes of all these data issues. Okay, say for example, if there's a case where a 6-month-old baby has been charged for braces, a claim has been made for a 6-month-old baby for braces, then we automatically highlight it and we tell you this is what it is, and when this happens, these are the issues. This is the place where it happens, and 90% of the time these are all the issues, so you can go and fix it automatically. And similarly, we also identify unstructured data, look at unstructured data and tell you what is wrong with the data. Say, for example, if there are security lapses within the data, then we automatically identify it, as opposed to what is supposed to be in GDPR and things like that. That's what we do.
Are you able to, from that, then derive a monetary value of what the saving could be from that?
Yes, we do. That's what business impact is all about. Yeah. And for the first time, we are doing this because till now, data quality has never been quantified. And typically, most of the cases when we go and tell our customers they've lost this much amount of money, it always comes as a surprise. And that's a great metric to have, actually.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, Dilip. Alan here. I noticed you had some quite good quality names in your list. Bupa, HSBC. You mentioned one big major consultant that I think would be, this kind of strategy would be very critical. You've got somebody like that working with you. Because of the data issue, there's, as we were just talking about earlier, is it high level, low level? I think understanding where your solution fits in a very broad section of, or a broad cross section of data solutions is critical. So having partners that are extremely knowledgeable about the internal workings of the larger banks and the larger organizations, insurance companies, is critical, I think. So
yes.
I would
Absolutely, and that's why we partnered with NetApp and
yeah, knocking on the door of the big banks with this solution is a big challenge. Going in with partners is definitely going to be a much better way to go.
Thank you.
Thanks for that presentation. It's really fascinating. I just wondered if you'd done any research about your key competitors in the UK and what you found there.
Yes, our predominant competitors, they're not location-based, they're more generic. We've had big players like Informatica, we have players like Collibra, Reltio. There are legacy solutions like Oracle and guys like that as well. But what gives us an edge is that we are the first augmented data management solution, which means that we are one of the early market entrants, which actually provide cognitive intelligence at the center of data management.
Great. And being from within legal, I'm quite fascinated in how data points are used by companies. So I just wondered if you had any sort of mechanisms that would protect against inequitable decision making, or how is that managed in as short as time as possible if you've got enough time to respond?
So typically what we do is you'll have to identify what are all the parameters. We have certain things called data recipes, and you'll have to just define these data recipes on what are all the parameters you think are important. And the system will automatically identify it, start refining it. And as and when system identifies data issues for you, and you and your team start fixing data problems, the machine learning kicks in and it automatically suggests based on the refinement that you make on the data. Because when it comes to enterprise data, the best way is to learn from the user as opposed to, because it's a B2B business. So the best way to learn is from the user, and the machine learning kicks in and automatically suggests refinements and alerts you on what it finds.
I found from our discussions with various enterprise partners on this topic, they're very concerned about accuracy and reliability. So I'm assuming you're thinking about that. So that's been
yes.
a selling point from me.
Yes, our data quality index actually has 21 different metrics, and completeness, accuracy, all these, there are 21 metrics, like I said. So you can go and look at how each and every metric is performing.
Right.
Very cool. Well done, Dilip. And please, just a reminder to everyone, please do use that form in the chat to select companies that you'd like an introduction to. Already 3 great companies that have pitched, and lots more to come. So our next company is focused on connecting digital currencies and traditional finance. Please welcome Charlie from Relay Pay. Charlie, over to you.
Hi guys, my name is Charlie. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Relay Pay. Today I will start my pitch with Bill Gates' famous prediction about digital currencies. After Bitcoin's launch in 2008, there has been an enormous innovation in this space. Launch of programmable money, fiat-backed stablecoins, and central-backed digital currencies are just a few of them. In this decade, we will be observing a digital transformation of money, and all of us will eventually use programmable, interoperable digital currencies. And like any transformation issues, there is an interoperability problem between the two worlds. This is because of 3 main reasons. Friction is the main one. Conversion between fiat and digital currencies are always painful, and exchanges are unfortunately the only gate for this conversion, because they are built for the trading. They don't provide products and services for actual use of digital currencies. So, and also lack of adapters are one of the main barriers of the mass adoption that we face right now. So it's kind of like we have a cutting edge technology, but the experience is like 18th century. So it needs to be changed. So RelayPay is simply a digital currency adapter for traditional finance world. We are connected over 10 exchanges globally in the world, and we do the hard work for all our customers, business and consumers, through our powerful API. And we provide solutions and products for anyone to use digital currencies in the real world with one click. Consumers and businesses can get the best out of digital currency technology by using our interfaces. RelayPay can operate internationally. However, as a start, we would like to focus on UK and Australian markets, a total market size of 200 billion. Our core focus areas is digital currency e-commerce payments, fiat exchange, and remittance via stable coins. We are an early stage startup. We soft launched in July in Australia. So far, we processed over 1.5 million with zero paid marketing. We are expecting to do our full launch in mid-October with an AFR exclusive and with our launch partners in e-commerce space. The team, I'm a product guy. I was the brainchild of daily roaming subscription plan of Vodafone Group in Europe and led the launch of this proposition in 8 countries in 2013. As a team, we have been in blockchain space since 2017. 2 of us were core contributors of the Australian's most successful blockchain company, Synthetics. With our corporate background, we are quite confident to make RelayPay a success story. Our ask, we are looking for investors in UK that will help us with our expansion plan. And obviously we are looking for partners who can work with us to penetrate the market with their existing solutions. Our potential partners could be in invoicing platforms, payment aggregators, and remittance providers. On the customer side, if you are one of the e-commerce players in UK and would like to untap a 350 billion market, please reach me out at Charlie@RelayPay.io. Thanks for your time.
Excellent. Thank you, Charlie. Well done there. Solid pitch. All right, which of our panelists want to kick things off?
I'm happy to go first again. When I first sort of saw this, it made me think somewhat of TransferWise. Like you guys sit as the intermediary between transferring X to Y, but instead of doing bank to bank, you're doing crypto to bank. Is that sort of, am I on the right track there?
Yeah, exactly. We actually, very nice pitch. So we try to follow their model. They started as a currency exchange provider and then evolved to kind of like a issuer and processor, etc. So we do the current, our current plan is exactly like that, being in the middle between digital currency world and the traditional finance world. We have exchange connections, banking rails. So with one click and exchange and wallet agnostic users can use us through their own mobile wallets, any wallet they can choose, or they can just use our platform.
And is the sort of revenue structure the same way as TransferWise? You guys will just take a small sort of commission on top?
We get spread around, depending on the cryptocurrency, 1 to 3%. And on the merchant processing, we also charge like around 1 to 2% on top. So if as a merchant, we would like to receive payments with digital currencies, on top of spread, we charge to customer, we also charge the businesses.
Great. No, I think it's a great idea. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to say I do think it's a very good idea as well. The thing here is it's less about just being able to swap digital currency to fiat currencies, but what I would say is that your solution has to measure up to anybody who's taking payments or taking transfers. So your competition isn't just the digital guys. You have to have a solution that's competing against everybody else that's doing any kind of payment processing. But I think you've thought that through, and it looks like that you will have an edge on a lot of them if you take this approach.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a fundamental idea, and I can certainly see the end user market. If you get sufficiently funded, I think you could definitely scale this.
Yeah, I forgot to mention we have an early investor from Salesforce board member. Yeah, so we are quite excited.
Hi, Charlie, thanks for your pitch. I think this is a really exciting concept. It actually reminds me a lot of Wirex, which is another UK-based sort of exchange platform. I think for you, if you were coming to the UK, I think it's really important for you to, if I'm assuming you might have done this already, is to look at how you can actually establish yourself, because I think there's going to be a lot of authorizations that you're going to need to get from the Financial Conduct Authority. And I think part of that is there's actually an agreement between the FCA, the UK authority, and the Australian authority, the ASIC, through the Innovation Hub. So that could, if you haven't already looked at that, that could be a good way for you to investigate how you could actually launch in the UK whilst navigating the regulatory challenges. So that's my main point of feedback.
Thank you very much.
Very good advice and great guidance there. Charlie, thank you for joining, and all the best with your expansion here as well. It sounds like exciting times ahead. All right, we're going to go to our next company now. Well, if COVID didn't cut your travel bill enough, here's a company that can help you deliver even more savings from travel. And personally, I'm a believer that corporate travel will come back. I really need to get out of this place. So from TripAdvise, please welcome Simon Crutter.
G'day, how are you? Corporate travel agents. So corporate travel agents have really dominated the space around travel management in the last sort of 20 years. And they're really set up by organisations to help them manage their policy compliance, access the best rates and the best fares that are available in the market, track the whereabouts of the travellers when they're travelling, really provide services, whether it's through an online booking tool or through the travel consultants they have themselves, and also collate data on behalf of the organisation. And so what generally happens though, and the other part of the business that I do is, can we just go to the next slide, please? So, however, the reality is that 47% of trips are actually booked outside the policy. And the reason why I know in Australia here, I consolidate data for 2,500 corporate organisations throughout Australia and New Zealand. So 12% of flights can be booked cheaper if they book direct with the airlines. So that's another part of the benchmark we do. 20% of the hotels can also be booked cheaper online if they go through an aggregator, so a booking.com. So what we're looking to do within the application is we're looking to get the planning, the approval, part of it independent from the travel management firm. So the companies, the organisations will have all their data independent from the corporate travel agent, and then flowing then allows them to book wherever they need to, whether they book with a travel management company or whether they book direct with the airlines or direct with the hotels. And then once they've done that, then they can expense it back through the application. And then we've also got the reporting that attaches to that as well. So taking from what Jeremy said, as far as travel is concerned, the market has significantly contracted, but it will come back, but it will be a slow comeback. So there's a lot of mergers and acquisitions and even a lot of travel management companies going broke in the market. The internet is certainly going to dominate, and that's going to create a decentralized marketplace. As far as corporate travel budgets are concerned, they have contracted significantly. They'll continue to contract. They're looking for efficiencies, and that's one of the things that we're honing in as far as TripAdvise is concerned. And reporting is going to be critical, and that's what we mean. So with TripAdvise, we have a launch customer here in Australia. It's Monash University, one of the biggest universities here in Australia. We're university here in Australia. For the education, medical and government markets. And we also have solid networks within the university and government sectors inside Australia. And we also have a partnership that we work with KPMG. So we've got some fairly good networks and establishments here in Australia, and we're looking to leverage those to enable us to open up into other markets as we mature. So the final bit, so why Trip Approve? As an organisation, we have significant experience in the travel management space. I've been in travel for 20 years. The last 12 years that I've been actively helping organisations manage their travel. Our high value customers, so every one of our customers that we have will at least $10,000 per annum that we will get in terms of fees. Monash is certainly significantly more of that once they're back into full speed as far as travel is concerned. So we have a great product. Certainly the feedback that we've got to date from the different organisations we're speaking to, but we will need to scale to address this opportunity. We're only a very small team, and we're looking for partners that can help us expand into the UK in terms of funding networks and human resources. So thanks very much.
Excellent. Well done there. And well done navigating those funny slide transitions. We've got these slides based on a 30-second transition. So it takes a bit of coordination to keep up. But I think Google Slides might be playing up a little bit there as well. So well done navigating that, Simon. Let's hand it over to our panelists to ask their questions.
I'm happy to go first in this one. I don't actually know too much about the travel market, but I get the impression that there are quite a lot of operators in the UK, just from my experience working in different corporates and each one having a different travel management system. So I just wondered what makes you different to everyone else?
So fundamentally, the way that the corporate travel management systems work is they're channeled through a 30-year-old piece of technology called the Global Distribution System. We work totally independent from that, so we allow organisations to have all their data on their side, so as far as where they're going, how much it's going to cost, that's all captured on the customer side. So once we've got that data on the client side, then we can actually go out and book wherever we need to. So that might be a low-cost carrier, it might be with a travel management company, it might be through a local accommodation provider or whatever it happens to be, trains. So we just allow the data to be inputted on the customer side, and then once it's there, then it gives them the opportunity to book where they need to make that trip, or to book and pay for that trip. And that's fundamentally the difference. So we're not tied to a particular distribution channel. They can book wherever they need to book, and that's the difference.
Thank you.
Simon, thank you for that.
Yep.
Obviously, we are in a different world now with COVID and whatnot.
COVID, yep.
Do you think that, I know travel will bounce back, but do you anticipate to bounce back to the level that it once was? I mean, especially with sort of on the corporate side with remote working and everything, will people still travel in your opinion, or do you think it's going to slow down?
Yeah, listen, if I look at the Australian market, 12 months ago, this time, we had about 1.8 million departures out of Australia, which is pales in significance as far as the UK is concerned. Last month, we did about 40,000 departures, so it's a significant downturn for where we were at. But I think once the borders start to close, I think it'll be a 3-year recovery as far as corporate travel is concerned. Certainly in the area that I am at with government are still travelling, and certainly universities will start travelling because a lot of their contracts and what they need to do is actually tied to their funding. So they'll need to get out and about. But you know, it's certainly going to take a while to ramp up. It's not that's going to be immediate, that's for sure. Certainly there's going to be capacity issues as well.
And do you think corporates will be willing to sort of pay for a solution like this, even with travel a bit sort of unsure?
Well, our model is around user pays. So when a trip takes place and that trip is being paid for, then that's where our modelling kicks in. So we haven't got a model where you pay for a piece of software which is actually not doing something. It needs to be able to do something. You need to be able to travel. You need to be doing something actively in order to pay for that service.
Great, thank you.
Hi there. Yeah, timing is everything, right?
Yeah.
And art has completely fallen out of the travel market. However, your indigenous or the existing competitors are having a really hard time. A lot of them will be going out the back door. You could even look at, you're going to have some patience. I think you probably worked that out.
Yeah.
But you might want to start at less an investment model and more a cherry picking an acquisition model from an existing organizations with good relationships. You may look to have some support in acquiring companies that are not prepared for the future when it does bounce back. So it could be an interesting time over the next 2 or 3 years, and a lot of your competition is going to disappear. But it will be a very different world.
The other part is that the travel is fundamentally, well, generally linked to a flight, but we find that actually a lot of travel takes place within organisations that don't require travelling on aircraft. So we sort of manage that. And in Australia, we've had our fair share of disasters over the last X amount of time. And one of the issues that we had here in Australia with the bushfires is that we had a lot of people in those bushfire zones without any traceability on them. And so that's one of the things we're doing. So you don't need to jump in an aircraft. You can be travelling on a train, you could be travelling on a car, but we'll have an understanding of where those people are as far as the management's concerned. So it's a whole range of things that we're trying to address, and it's not just people who are necessarily travelling on an aircraft. So travel is an extension of being outside the office doing something that you need to do as a part of your role within an organisation.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you, Simon. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for, but well done. And all the best with scaling Trip Approved. We're going to move now to our 6th startup. So we're well over halfway. In fact, over 2/3 of the way now. So digital advice is obviously a category that's experiencing strong growth. And one of the most advanced digital investment advisors in Australia is Quite Growth. So from Quite Growth, with an appetite to launch in the UK, please welcome their CEO and founder, Dilip Sankareddy.
Hi, everyone. We can start the pitch.
Perfect. Over to you.
Okay, great. So we are Quite Growth, and we are a digital investment management service firm in Australia, one of the early players in the Australian market. We manage the investments of our clients after providing them the personal financial advice to them, and it's all done digitally. So we have been in the market for last 6 years and serving clients since last 5 years in Australia. We understand that market well. There are similar competitors in the UK, and we are excited to expand to UK because it's a very good market out there with a lot of growth potential. Even though the market is competitive, it's no way mature. So our product in Australia, we consider it to be the most advanced product. We have highly interactive interfaces in our website, and we have built native iOS and Android apps. We have a component of artificial intelligence and machine learning also in our service offering. As I mentioned, it's a 6-year-old company, one of the early players. So over a period of time, we have understood the needs of the clients and have been fine-tuning our product consistently. So we are very product focused. We are, we understand technology and tech as well as finance, both are in our DNA. So it's, it took us a year when we launched, after we started as a company in Australia to build the MVP, and we launched in September 2015. Consistently, we have been adding more features to our product, fine-tuning what we offer to the clients. We have been fully focused on the Australian market so far. The way we offer is our service is like a B2C solution. There is no flavor of B2B right now, but having said that, we are open to B2B in future or even B2B2C. We are a highly agile team, and we have built like some local partnerships in Australia too, because we understand that generating more revenue per client is very important, and we are super focused on positive cash flow, even though we are not yet out there. Well, we have some fairly good competitive advantages. We strongly believe that digital advice is all about technology in the long run. In addition to the finance part of it, the product is only going to get more and more technology advanced with a lot of components of artificial intelligence in the coming years and decades. So we as a team, we are good in tech, and I think that's where we can play a strong game. Added to that is the fact that a good part of our tech team is based out of India. We have not outsourced it. It's our own development center in India that keeps the cost low and gives us that competitive advantage. We have been running this firm like between India and Australia, the Australia being the business jurisdiction and India being the tech development center. And we understand this business of like working across different countries. And that reflects in the way the company has been structured. The parent company is in the US. There are no operations out there. It's incorporated in the state of Delaware, and we have subsidiaries in Australia and India, and also a dormant subsidiary in UK, taking the steps to expand in UK market too. We are a small team, global team across 2 countries, working from 2 countries, and I personally am very excited to come and live in UK and drive the expansion in UK. So yeah, and yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, Dilip. And exciting times. When are you coming to the UK?
Well, there is one more slide, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, any time that makes things feasible. I have made like few trips to the UK earlier, and I'm more than happy to make more trips and meet everyone personally and drive the venture in UK. And yeah.
That's what you're looking for. I cut you off.
Yeah. Coming to our ask, yes, we want investors to fund our UK expansion. I think that would have been like very obvious by now. And in addition to that, we are very much actively looking for partners who can enter into a JV with us. We have a fairly stable product out there, and someone who enters into a JV with us, they can do that at a much lower valuation than what our competitors are offering out there in UK right now. Or they can the partners can even do a white labeling of our service. We provide the tech and the product to them, they put on their brand and they launch it. So we are fairly flexible in how we can structure it, and I'm looking forward to anyone who is interested.
Excellent. Very good. Exciting stuff. Let's jump straight into our panelists to ask some questions.
I'm happy to pick that one up. I spent 8 years in the wealth management, institutional asset management software world prior to exiting Equipos a few years ago. I think I know that sector pretty well, and I understand the gap between the discretionary management companies and the low-end mass market investment models. It's been challenging over the last 5 years in doing that at that bottom end, and there's not a lot of profitability at the moment. It's definitely a 10 to 15 year long play for this kind of thing. I do like the idea that you're going to come to the UK, because in my experience, when I expanded a company into North America, I went over there and practically ran the company from there, and it made the difference of success. So I think you'll have to do that. But you need to be prepared for the long haul on this, I think. It's a good market, but I think it's going to be a medium to long-term investment strategy.
Yes, thanks for that, Alan. I completely agree. That's the reason why at this point of time right now, especially when the market in Australia hasn't yet reached the critical mass So we are, it's lagging behind UK by a few years. So we are super focused on product development and improving our service at the moment rather than on marketing to keep the customer acquisition costs low. Around 99% of our clients, they are inbound. They discover us through various means, and then they come to us, and also through referrals. So yes, we are very much prepared for the long haul, and we hope we meet investors and partners who share our belief.
Yeah, I'd be happy to have a discussion to guide you in a few of those areas.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you for that. My sort of thought was around how your product differs from what else is on the market, because it is quite a saturated sort of market, especially in the UK. I know you said Australia's lagging behind, but the UK, the US, is a lot of people focusing on this. Where do you guys differ from what is out there in the market in the UK specifically?
Our product does not differ a lot from our competitors in the UK at the moment. But what I can say is that whatever has been built by us in few $1 million of financing, less than $4 million of financing, it has taken like our competitors in the UK like few tens of millions of dollars to reach there. So we are very cost efficient for what we have built with so far. But having said that, the pitch is more for the future. We strongly believe that things are going to radically change in the coming years. There will be a lot more intelligence in the product, which even we don't have at the moment. Right now, most of the products are plain vanilla. But in future, whoever can capture that tech part of it, where they can provide a highly intelligent service, which is very personalized, then I think that service is going to capture the market much more than the rest.
Sure. Thank you.
Cool. And Julie, anything to add?
I would echo what the other panelists have said. It's quite increasingly crowded market in the UK. So I think it's really important to work out what your differentiating feature is and communicate that to the market. And the only other piece of thought, the other thought that I would have is the same piece of feedback I gave to the previous company in relation to having an understanding of what authorizations you're going to need to launch in the UK, because the Financial Conduct Authority is highly sophisticated and will ask a lot of questions as to how you wish to launch and to get authorized. So
yeah,
good.
Yeah, definitely, Julie. That's very important. I attempted to have some conversations with few people in UK about 3 years ago, and I think FCA right now is much more well aware of this line of service than what it was about 3 years ago. So there is more awareness around this service, more acceptance around this service. But having said that, we have to make sure that we are fall in line with every single aspect of compliance, so that we provide a service that is like that is on par with all the well-regulated firms out there in UK.
Fantastic. Well, some good advice from our panelists. Obviously, a crowded market, lots of regulation to think about. But well done, Dilip, for getting to this point, and all the best with moving forward with Quiet Growth. All right, that is 6 down and 3 to go. So that is 2/3. Bad maths there before. So although we made the move to paperless offices, it doesn't really mean that we're managing digital documents well. A company that is solving that is One Wordflow. And from One Wordflow, please welcome Bruce Wren.
Hi, folks. In the age of the internet, why are we wasting valuable time searching for documents in multiple repositories, in 30-year-old formats, Word and PDF? Imagine if we could instantly access any page of any document on any device without a download. Well, now you can. At One Wordflow, we are re-engineering the document for the web. Accessing documents online is a massive problem. Why is this? Well, documents are lost in SharePoint folders. They are in other systems like Confluence and local drives and Dropbox. McKinsey estimate that staff spend 16% of every day, that's every day, searching for, looking for content. That's a cost of $1 million per year, per 100 staff, and a massive risk to the business. So how does our solution work? Well, the customer simply uploads their documents into our cloud. We're a PDF document. 2 minutes later, we have transformed that into a document that looks exactly like this. It's a web page or an internet page. It's an easy to manage web page there, and it works at massive scale. Hundreds of pages in literally minutes. Now, we work with government, we work with financial services, we work with insurance and other vertical markets. And we've pretty well, because it's such a massive market, we've limited ourselves to publishing to, say, government and those organizations. We're working with insurance, with what we call our policy power contract documents. We're re-engineering policies and procedures so that we can reimagine what the policy and procedures would be in any financial institution, or indeed really any type of business. And we're now working with compliance, where we're overlaying it against the policy and the procedure. Now, we're already growing extremely quickly. In 2019, we did $750,000. But by 2021, as we move into the UK, we'll be around about the $4.5 million mark, depending on our success in recruiting partners. We've really moved from working from building our product, building our engine, and building our business from one deal at a time into now moving into partners. And so we've already got some terrific customers, but now we've recruited people like DXC, we've recruited a bunch of Australian partners, and we've won a lot of awards along the way, as you can see by that particular slide. So what are we asking for the panel? We're actually, we're wanting help to be able to go and recruit these second and third tier partners. We're not after KPMGs or the Accentures. We're after the people with domain expertise in specific markets. We're after the solution partners who know their onions in a particular area and want a competitive advantage. And we're wanting those that work in document-rich environments, technology platforms like document management systems, SharePoint systems, and so on, where we can work with freeing the information sitting in these massive repositories like OpenText and Documentum, ServiceNow and FileNest, etc. So that's effectively what we're looking for the UK for. So we expect to be there in the first or second quarter of next year. And our biggest task at hand is to go and recruit those particular partners. We can now take some questions, guys.
Great, thanks, Bruce. Nicely timed there. All right, yeah, let's jump in. Who wants to go first from our panelists?
I'd be happy to go first. I get very excited about document management, being from the legal side of things.
What you like, Julie? Yeah.
I normally see this from a legal tech perspective, so it's really interesting to hear your pitch. And obviously, I think the total addressable market is huge. However, I'd be interested to understand why you focus on these particular industries first. And if you could tell us a story about a customer using your product.
Okay, look, I came out of a content management background for many years, building lots and lots of websites. And the big problem was always not that did we have a nice, pretty website, was the fact that you couldn't get the knowledge base that we already had owned. People forget there's now 15 trillion documents in the world, growing at 3 trillion a year. It's totally out of control. So being a small company, we thought, well, we'll go after government. We already know that market well. We're based at Stone and Chalk in Sydney, so we've now been very successful about moving into financial services. And we've just signed 2 very good customers in terms of the new payments platform. And they're putting this in for, this is the people behind the whole payment system for Australia. And FPOS have just signed up as well. And we're winning just lots and lots of deals like this. The trouble is that we can't grow fast enough that way, which is why we're now embracing partners, which you saw on a previous slide. But you're right, the market is huge. And so when you're small, you've just got to focus, and that's what we've been trying to do.
Yeah, I'd say keep that focus, because I'm just thinking about that from the perspective of I'm in a team that works with engineers and product, and we all use a combination of Google Drive, Dropbox, and other things. It's
and you can't find anything.
No. Great, thanks.
Yeah, you're making me feel really old here. I remember document management pitches from 26 years ago, which more or less said all the same things. The numbers are just, you've just added an extra 6 zeros onto the problem in terms of the size. Yeah, I've worked for companies and exited companies who've been acquired by OpenText and others. And I know this space relatively well. What's your Microsoft relationship like in Australia?
The Microsoft relationship is very strong, because what we've done is that SharePoint we built this in so that it totally integrates with Office 365. So you create your material in Word, but then you get to, at the moment, Microsoft put it all back into OneDrive as a docx file. So it's still another document you have to download. So that's where we pick it up, and actually file save as website, so that now you can instantly go to the web. And so we're working with Microsoft partners.
Sorry to interrupt. What's your relationship with the Microsoft people in Australia?
We've now been taken on into their fast startup program. They've seen that this is a pretty slick product, and we're getting help in financial services and the government sector from them. We only did that actually about 4 months ago, so we've got more work to do with them, but it's very exciting.
Yeah, we can have a conversation. I'm pretty well connected with the Microsoft document people in the UK, which would be your first step, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
Go into navigating that solution. Yeah,
I'd very much appreciate it.
Discussion. Yeah.
Super.
Very cool.
Sorry,
yeah.
We've got time for one question?
Quick one, Zach, let's do it.
Quickly, sorry, you say you upload it to the web, so I was wondering, obviously security measures here, like sensitive subjects, sensitive documentation, how do you secure these stuff? Well,
the great thing is, Zach, is that we put everything into Microsoft Azure Cloud anyway, so there's already a pretty heavy security all around it. The reality is we're not actually changing the underpinning document, we're just pointing to it. So we're giving you a web-based window of what's sitting inside SharePoint or OpenText, whatever it is. So it already is secure, but then you're coming in via a browser through a secure AWS or Azure portal, and it's just, you've just got browser-based access to your existing document. The great thing is, though, you don't have to go and find stuff. You can go instantly to any page, without a download.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Bruce. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for, but it looks like it could be a good connection there with Microsoft, and some great advice there from the panel. So thank you, guys. We've got 2 more to go.
Thank you.
All right, our next company is on a mission to help parents teach their children financial literacy, something I can really do a big help with, have a big help with. So from GoSafe, please welcome their CEO, Andrew Burt. Andrew. Do we have Andrew? Oh, maybe not. If we don't have Andrew, we'll jump to our last company, but let's give him a couple more seconds just to jump in here. It's been seamless so far. You guys have done so well. Right on cue. I think we might be missing Andrew. So why don't we jump to our last company for today? And our last company is looking at compliance and risk. And obviously those costs continue to soar. And there's never been a more important time for solutions in this space that can help to drive those costs down. So from Cognitive View, please welcome Dilip.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, everyone. I know this is the third Dilip you are hearing in a single pitch session. This is not very common, and I'll make it worthwhile. So look, in 2018, the Australian government has started an inquiry into a wide misconduct challenge in the financial services industry. It's called Royal Banking Commission. And what we have seen as a result of this is there has been a significant fines that the banks has paid in terms of billions of dollars, significant reputational damage, and also customer detriment and loss of public trust. And I'll give you some context what has really happened. So someone who is really mentally challenged has been sold a life insurance product over a cold call. People who are really vulnerable have lost their life savings because of bad advice. And we have seen historically the claim rejection rate has been significantly high. And actually COVID-19 has even increased that more. So in terms of the actual challenges, compliance, it's not really the regulatory requirements that we're looking at, like Financial Conduct Authority or ASIC or MAS, but it's also about your industry code of conduct, like your banking code of practice, your PDS document, product disclosure statement type of compliance, and your ethic guidelines and compliance around ombudsman, more around complaint management bodies. So we're looking into those kind of compliance challenges. And also the regulations are continuously changing. And that is actually putting a lot of pressure on the firms because they have to continuously change their processes and change the risk management models to actually support them. And customer complaint and COVID-19 has really increased that multifold in terms of what we've seen in Australia, but also in UK and other parts of the world. Next slide, please, Tim. So in terms of how the technology work is, what you see in the top is the manual process where customers employ supervisors and they essentially are listening to the calls and they're doing a lot of manual review of the people that they have employed to make sure they're compliant, they're managing the customer vulnerability nicely, and they're identifying the complaint early and all those things. So what we're doing is we are looking into customer communication channels. For example, we look into call recordings with a speech analytic solution. We do compliance monitoring, conduct assessment, and as the result of that is we produce the customer experience, basically telling you how the customer is feeling, angry, frustrated, all those sentiment and tone analysis, how the agent or advisor, financial advisor performing in terms of compliance and the quality assurance. And it actually identifies if there is a breach from a conduct standpoint, which you can go back to report to FCA or ASIC, wherever the regulatory body is. Also, we look into, some of these are the key things, but complaint is one thing that we have done a lot of work recently, mostly identifying the customer concerns early so that it doesn't end up with ombudsman, because that's where you spend a lot of money. And also it's a big repetition damage as well. So, and compliance monitoring, it does real-time and batch processing, compliance monitoring, and customer experience is one thing that's an area there is a lot of work happening. And in terms of conduct risk, I would say we don't standardize the conduct definition, but we allow people to define what conduct means to them. And essentially that allows them the flexibility to define what are the risky kind of compliance things they need to monitor in terms of compliance as well risk. So they look into those kind of frameworks as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. So we have deployed this with some of the large banks, but also with mostly into the general insurance segment. So this firm specifically we deployed, and it helped them in AFSL compliance. It reduced the cost substantially because of the automation that we have achieved with AI, and also the number of complaints has substantially reduced. So what we're looking is we're seeking some funding, seed funding for our UK expansion. We are looking to partner with risk and compliance advisory firms that can actually take the technology and augment with existing advisory type of functions. We're also looking into contact center providers who already provide that technical contact center technology, but we can help them augmenting our solution to the existing practices. And also for companies who are looking into automating their operational or non-financial risk with a RegTech or a SupTech technology. So now this is not just limited to regulatory entities, but it can be used by the regulators as well. And yeah, next slide, please. Thank you. Oh, that's the end of it. Okay. So we also, it's worth highlighting that we launched our platform last year, and we've been selected as part of ASIC's RegTech trial. So it's been very, it's something we were very proud of. And we've been selected as RegTech 100 globally. We have recently deployed our pilot for Commonwealth Bank, which is the #1 bank in Australia. And we're working with a number of providers, mid-market providers, mostly insurance firms here. So we are looking into not only enterprises, but also into the mid-market space in terms of financial firms. Thank you.
Okay. Great. Well done, Dilip 3. You used up a bit of your time there, though, so we've got time for one, maybe two quick questions from our panel. Who wants to kick off?
I thought Julie might go in there. Yeah, go ahead, Julie.
I think it's a very ambitious proposal. So I think the only thing I'd say is a strong partnership in the UK is going to be really important for your launch, because you really want people on the ground who really understand the risk and compliance landscape here, which is complex and in some ways more cumbersome than Australia.
Yeah, thank you, Julie. So we actually are in the, we have an application that's under processing with FCA right now. They have a digital sandbox. So we're working with them to actually sort of them to test the technology, but also kind of endorse it. They don't endorse it, but that will help us in getting into the entities as well. Yeah.
Excellent.
Great. Excellent. Well, Alan, did you have a quick one?
Yeah, I think the FCA sandbox is a good place to be. If you can get in there, that I would have recommended it. Although that's not necessarily a invitation to take over the market. You still have a huge amount of work to do from a marketing perspective. But you're in a good space. It's growing. You do have some competitors in the UK that are fairly well entrenched and embedded within the other technical infrastructure in London. So it will be a challenge, but you know, you're getting to the FCA is a good start.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good advice and good caution there. Dilip, well done. Thank you for joining. We've got Andrew back apparently, so let's try having a look at GoSave. And just a reminder, GoSave is helping parents teach their children financial literacy, and we're going to finish with Andrew. Thank you for joining, Andrew.
Thanks very much, Peter. Hi everyone. Sorry I had to duck out. I was sitting on the wrong link. We'll just go back a few slides. There we are. That's the first slide. Yes, hi everyone. I'm Andrew Burt. I'm founder and CEO of a company called GoSave. We're a financial literacy company that brings financial education to parents and kids and makes it fun and interactive. And the reason we're doing this is because almost half of adults live on the brink of financial disaster. Cover story in the Atlantic in the US in 2016. Majority of Americans have less than less than $400 in savings, and the majority have less than $1,000 in savings in the event of an emergency. So our mission and our vision of the company is really to empower kids and parents alike to learn about savings and to learn through savings from play. So we have a range of digital piggy banks that we manufacture. There's the robot on the screen. I've got my Penny the Pig here. And we've been building these for about 18 months now. There's about 1,000 families using them right around the world. And we're at the early stages of integrating with some banks and credit unions, and also looking to build a consumer proposition around GoSave too. So there'll be GoSave debit cards, savings products, and the piggy banks themselves. But yeah, primarily at the moment we've been B2B, been testing with a credit union in Australia, working with a panel of credit unions in the United States, and then looking at the ways to address the market in the UK and filling out some early partnerships there. So yeah, that kind of gives a little bit of an introduction of why we're here today and part of the panel, and a bit about the company too. Both myself and my co-founder are hardware and product people by trade. I founded a company called LifeX, which is a Wi-Fi lighting company, now number 2 globally behind Philips, with over 2 million units. So we've built physical products before, and we've scaled those, but the fintech piece is certainly new. So we've been learning that on the job over the last few years, and it's just been amazing to watch the rise of other fintech startups and some of our competitors in the space. One in particular, Greenlight in the US. We had conversations with about integrating with them, and that's not something we're doing at the moment, but they recently raised a Series C at a $200 million valuation. So it just shows the potential of the market in this space for for financial education from an early age. A few others you'd be familiar with, Revolut Junior and GoHenry. There's definitely some big players in this space, but having a physical product and really a pipeline of other physical products we're working on too is a key differentiator, and really selling it as a fintech, but a fintech with a presence in the real world that kids can use from an early age. The ask is, chatting to and building contacts in the UK and people that see the potential in the product and may want to use it to engage their audience as well.
Excellent. Well done. Thank you, Andrew. Glad we set that in. This is really cool. I like the device. Let's get our panelists to jump in and ask some questions.
It's very interesting. Currently see that you're being acquired by a UK company at the moment.
Yes, correct. Yeah, we're just in the process of finalising that. Still awaiting board approval their side, but they're going to incorporate us into their offering.
That well, that's very interesting. I mean, I see a little more co-opetition than I do competition in that list. The chances of GoHenry going into manufacturing some device to do anything along this lines is remote. I think there's a massive partnership opportunity there rather than a competitive element to it. And I think you're taking a different approach. I'm involved in a social enterprise that teaches entrepreneurship to kids between 8 and 14, and we've launched an app that fits into the same general space and could be very complementary to what you're doing. If you've already been acquired, then you may not have a funding issue, but if you did, there's a lot of social enterprise investment, and maybe Zach could talk a bit more about that. That's focused on this area, and that's definitely trending in the UK.
Yeah, massively. I mean, I think this is a great idea. I think the partnership channel is definitely one that needs to be sort of the focus of attention. It's very important, obviously, what you're trying to accomplish here. I think it's a great idea. I've got no real criticisms here. I think I'd be interested in talking to you more about this. There might be some people that we can link with in the UK.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'd love to follow up.
Likewise, I'd be happy to connect on that as well.
Yeah, amazing. Is it best just to connect with you both on LinkedIn and go from there?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
And Julie, anything else to add to this one?
Nothing to add. I think it's really exciting concept, and I love how you've made it a little bit more tactile for children, and I think it makes it more accessible for them. So really important topic, and yeah, all the best. Obviously, if you're looking for open banking or PSD2 type integrations, very happy to chat as well. Yeah,
that'd be great. Yeah, definitely. It's we've spoken to a colleague of yours in Hong Kong, I think she is.
Marie.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Marie. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, would love to continue the conversation. And thanks everyone. Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties, but glad we can make it on.
Yeah, well done, Andrew. I'm glad we could slip that in as well. So congratulations on you're getting to that, and looking forward to seeing this in the UK soon. All right, so that's a wrap. A massive thank you to all 9 companies for some great pitches and for playing with this format of 30-second rotations. Not an easy one to juggle, but you did a great job, and you did a great job of communicating your business. And a massive thank you also to the panelists. Some fantastic advice there, some fantastic connections, and also some good words of caution as well. I think the UK is a massive opportunity, but as you've heard from the panelists, there's challenges around regulation, there's challenges around scale, and obviously a huge amount of competition as well. So thank you for sharing all of that advice with the companies. The one last reminder to each of you, please do use the link in the chat to connect with the companies. It's very simple, it's an easy, quick and easy form there. Just fill out your name and then select the companies that you found interesting and would like a connection to. And the team from Newfound will make that happen right after this. But for now, that's it for me, and it's now my time to hand back over to Peter to wrap things up. Peter, back to you.
Thank you, Jeremy. That was a great session, and thank you once again to the panelists, Alan, Zach, and Julie. Much appreciated, and certainly some great feedback there to the companies. So before we wrap this final session, wanted to actually go around and ask each of the companies in the order of their presentations to give us a little bit of feedback. So I've already given Lance a warning. Now I'm sort of giving everyone else a heads up that just give us some direct feedback on how today went, but also the program, because we like to capture things freshly. And of course, we will be coming back and keeping in contact, of course. But if I can ask you to all put your cameras on, because that would be good to see everyone who pitched today, because you've definitely earned it. And over to you, Lance. How was it for you?
Well, one of the benefits of being first to see the light in New Zealand is being first up, which is my way of being very sarcastic, because of course it was a little bit intimidating. First off rank, guinea pig, but all good. So, and being this time of day, I've actually gone to celebration mode already. So if my feedback's a bit scratchy, you'll understand. So first up, well done, Peter and all the team. I thought it was a pretty impressive outcome, really. The challenging and very ambitious program, and I'd have to say that the time between the end of the mission and the pitch day felt a little bit tight, and for me, being a control freak that I am, the idea of someone else controlling the punching through of the slides while I was trying to coordinate what I was saying was a little bit spooky, but worked out in the end. Great mission, well structured, good subject matter, good range, good quality speakers, very impressive. The pace was, fairly on, made for a long day, but good to have a bit of discipline, I think, and it sort of forces everyone to move through and get things done. So yeah, overall, very impressed. Well done.
Thanks, Lance. Much appreciated. And I guess the key thing for us is to capture this feedback and improve for next time. So I think paper plane was next. So you don't need me to remind you who was next. So paper plane, please give us your words.
Thanks, Peter. Yeah, firstly, grateful for the opportunity this evening, but more broadly on the mission generally, we actually felt it started pretty slow. And some of the topics of the sessions were a bit basic in their delivery, but that's fine. It may not have suited us, those particular sessions, but we found the last couple in particular were fantastic, and the material was really beneficial to us. As far as tonight goes, yeah, again, grateful for the opportunity. Naturally working with the technology and over the webcam and the slides and the timing of everything might not have been ideal, as my dog just runs out. I think it all worked pretty smoothly. A particular congratulations to Andrew there on that last presentation too. I thought that was really, really good. I've come across Andrew before. He's an impressive guy. So yeah, that's all the feedback I have.
Nice one. Thank you so much. And Z-Score?
Yeah, hi. I thoroughly enjoyed some of the sessions. Some of them were not very, it was not for us. But the ones that I enjoyed, I've been able to make contact with people, and we have follow-up meetings. That's good. And thanks for hosting us. Data is not one of the most sexiest things out there. It could put a person to sleep in a second, but we're working on something important, and we believe that this Newfound has given us an opportunity to come and present to investors and to talk to companies in the UK, which would have been very difficult if we had done it on our own. So definitely, love the opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure. And RelayPay.
Guys, I think it was overall a great experience, amazing networking. Like as an improvement, I could probably say maybe we could have more breaks in between the sessions. It was like late evening in Australia. So maybe like 10-15 minute breaks would be good. And I think since we are quite limited with the functionality of Zoom, sometimes it was really hard to catch the right people, right time, especially after the panel discussions. But yeah, overall, very positive. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. And trip approve, please. Okay, so if we can go on to quiet growth, please.
Hi everyone. This is the first time I have been a part of any mission. To seek out new business. So it's a wonderful experience, and the fact that it spread over 2 weeks actually gave ample time for someone like me to think more about the dynamics and to understand more about how I have to navigate through the process. It's not like a 1 day or 2 day events where like everything gets bombarded and then you feel like there's a lot more to absorb, but at the same time, a lot of it is like left out. So I think that's the advantage of having like this kind of an event spread over 2 weeks. But I think the fact that we could not all like meet in person has its disadvantages. But on the advantages side, as we all recognize, we are having it at our own home and office, and I think that is good for for the convenience factor. I really look forward to keep in touch and take this forward. We are very keen on entering the UK market and potentially other markets too. So I really hope that we all can work together in different ways in coming years.
Thank you. And then we go on to one word flow, please.
Oh, thank you, Peter. Well, first of all, a big congratulations to you and to Calypso and the rest of the team. I think this has been really quite superb. Trying circumstances there, but the ability to actually talk to the speakers afterwards, I thought was a really quite an inspired move. We got a lot out of a number of the sessions. I put probably every session as an A or a B, and the Bs were not so much the quality, but more the fact that it wasn't of relevance to us as much as the A sessions. So I think just generally speaking, it's been terrific. We've got lots of people to follow up, and I know you guys have been terrific there in terms of putting the parties together. So first of all, I think first class job, brilliant job. We'll be looking very much forward to working with you guys in the UK.
Yes, Bruce, thank you very much. Just managed to offload my dog in the last 20 seconds. Nothing like dog sitters being late. Go save, please.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Sorry, I had a bit of a BBC moment happening there with my 2.5-year-old running in. Yeah, it was really good. Excellent quality speakers and enjoyed the program. I didn't attend as much of it as I would have liked, and that's just getting the kids to bed in those kind of key witching hours. It was just fell on unfortunate times. And one of my colleagues attended quite a few sessions too and got a lot from it. I think for us at the moment, because the whole company is kind of moving to the UK as part of this deal, it's just learning about the market, getting an understanding of the requirements and the dynamics, and that was really helpful and contextual too, because it's kind of changed in a post-Brexit world. So yeah, really enjoyed it, found it very informative and timely, and really liked hearing all the different pitches, and have to return the compliments to Paper Plane too. I think they're one of the best fintech startups in Australia at the moment. It's been fun watching them over the last 12 months or so. It's, yeah, a lot of great companies, and it's good. Fintech community is very strong across Australia, UK, and New Zealand by the looks of things.
I completely agree, Andrew, and thank you very much for your comments. Of course, we do have a newfound YouTube channel which has all the content stored. So if you want to, go back and review stuff, of course, it's going to be online for many weeks, and obviously all feedback appreciated. Right, cognitive view, please.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you, Peter, Jamie, and all the members of Newfound team. I think there has been a tremendous work has gone in behind the scene to bring it to this stage. Great content, great speakers. So I think it gave us a very formal way how to develop the new market. So, and really glad to be part of this mission. And we're looking forward to work with you guys again in future as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dylan. Much appreciated. Right, I guess that's a wrap. And so, once again, much appreciated for everyone that attended session 1. We have session 2 kicking off in about 30 minutes time. And on that note, have a good evening. I think everyone, apart from some of the attendees, are Australia and New Zealand based. And we'll share a little video with you now, but we'll be in touch. And obviously, if there's anything you need, let us know. And once again, the journey continues. Thanks very much.